Imagine being so good at football that you make even your fiercest rival smile. Imagine being so magical that defenders applaud you while you're humiliating them. Now imagine being that good and somehow being forgotten in the modern conversation. About football greatness, Ronaldo wasn't just a footballer. He was an era. But in today's world of relentless statistics, tactical breakdowns, and algorithm-fed GOAT debates, has football's happiest genius quietly slipped out of the spotlight? Let's find out why Ronaldinho's legacy still lives on, not just in highlight reels, but in the DNA of modern football. Ronaldinho Gaucho, born Ronaldo Dias Moreira, exploded onto the global stage in the early 2000s, but his journey started way earlier. His breakthrough came at Grêmio in Brazil, but it was his 2001 move to Paris Saint-Germain that truly announced him to Europe. A flamboyant attacking midfielder or left winger, his unpredictability became his signature. Then came Barcelona, 2003, and that's when the magic began. In just 5 seasons at Barca, Ronaldinho racked up 207 appearances, 94 goals, 71 assists to La Liga titles, 2004-05, 2005-06, won UEFA Champions League title, 2005-06. He also won the Ballon d'Or in 2005, becoming the first player since George Best to blend street football and elite dominance so seamlessly. Stats aside, Ronaldinho redefined joy in football. He made football fun again at a time when systems were becoming tighter and space harder. Here's the truth. Ronaldinho wasn't just flair. He was a tactical weapon under Frank Rijkaard's for 3-3. Ronaldinho operated mostly as a left-sided inverted playmaker, not just a traditional winger. He drifted into the half space, dragging defenders out, combining with Deco, Samuel Eto'o, and a young Lionel Messi. Excelled in tight pockets, averaging 2.9 key passes per 90. and 3.5 successful dribbles per match in his peak 2004-06 period. He was press-resistant before it became a tactical buzzword. His expected assists shot per 90 in the Champions League 2005-06 was an elite 0.34, higher than Kaká, Riquelme, or even Zidane. At that time wasn't a defensive engine, but his brilliance forced teams to change shapes. Remember the 2005 El Clasico at the Bernabeu? The Real Madrid fans gave him a standing ovation after he tore their backline apart in a 3-0 demolition. That wasn't just showboating, it was spatial manipulation at its peak. Without Ronaldinho, there's no Neymar, no Vinicius Jr., no early Messi. As we know him, Neymar once said, "Ronaldinho was my idol. I watched him more than anyone." Messi himself admitted that Ronaldinho's mentoring was crucial during his early Barca years. But the legacy isn't just in individuals. You see his imprint in how teams prioritize technical flair today, how Manchester City used Grealish to unbalance defenses, or how Ansu Fati drifts inside from wide areas. Even coaches like Xavi preach positional freedom because they grew up under Ronaldinho's brilliance. Seth Streets remember. The YouTube compilations are eternal, but what's less known, his style shifted global scouting. Brazilian attackers were no longer just strikers or playmakers, they were seen as hybrids. Ronaldinho blurred positions before it became trendy. Here's where things get complicated. In 2008, Ronaldinho's output started fading. Injuries, nightlife rumors, a perception that he lacked discipline. But this view is too simplistic. In at AC Milan 2008 to 2011, he managed 76 Serie A appearances, 20 goals, 22 assists. Serie A in assists 2009-10 season, 14 assists. He didn't just fizzle, he adapted. He became more of a second striker, drifting into central pockets, playing the final ball more than scoring. At his later years in Flamengo, Atlético Mineiro, and even a brief stint in Mexico, Querétaro weren't just farewell tours. At Atlético Mineiro in 2013, he won the Copa Libertadores, leading the team as captain and creative hot has the part most fans forget. He rebounded, he just didn't do it under the European spotlight. Could Ronaldinho thrive in today's game of intense pressing, GPS trackers, and heat maps? Absolutely. Let's break it down. Dribbles per 90. Modern elite wingers like Vinicius average approximately 4.8. At his peak, Ronaldinho hit 5.2 per 90 pass in the final third. He averaged 7.6 per match in his best years. Compara. Well, to today's elite creators, like De Bruyne or Bruno Fernandes, had elite shot numbers without a system built around it tactically. He'd thrive in a modern false 9 role, or as a free-roaming no 10 in a for the 3-1. Think prime Zizal meets Neymar with more unpredictability. The sports science of today He might have extended his peak just like Ronaldo, Modric, or Messi Ronaldinho's. Smile was as iconic as his stepovers. He wasn't just about winning, he was about enjoying football. The joys sometimes clashed with elite demands. Clubs wanted consistency, he offered spontaneity, but the joy was the point even after retirement. His name remains a marketing machine. Nike's iconic ads, his ambassador roles, the Joga Bonito campaign, that was his football philosophize. There was the 2020 prison stint in Paraguay over a passport issue, but it was more of a bizarre footnote than a dark legacy. His public image bounced back quickly, a testament to how deeply loved he remains globalizo. Was Ronaldinho a forgotten genius? No, he's not forgotten. He's just under-discussed in serious tactical circles. His legacy isn't in records, it's in influence, in culture. In joy, he may not have had the longevity of Cristiano or the statistical absurdity of Messi, but he changed the game in his own way. Ronaldinho showed us football could be art without losing its effectiveness. He proved you could destroy teams with a smile. Ronaldinho gave you goosebumps. Let us know in the comments what's your favorite Ronaldinho moment. The flip-flap versus Chelsea, the Topo versus England, the Bernabeu ovation. Smash the like button if you believe Ronaldinho's legacy deserves more love in 2025. Subscribe for more deep dives into football's greatest minds. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss the magic. Joga Bonito lives on, and so does Ronaldinho's genius.